Welcome back to the Tailosive Space Podcast. I'm your host, Nick. Today we are joined by DJ, who is also a space enthusiast wearing the very fashionable Everyday Astronaut shirt. Come on, guys. Get the merch. It's not our merch, but you should totally get it because why not? How are you doing, DJ?
Shill for the man. Doing pretty good. Too much space to watch this week and month with all this corona.
Well, if you're watching Lab Padre's streams, then there is definitely too much space to watch because last I checked, 24-hour stream, and I only have 24 hours in the day. I can't fit in any other content. I'm just glued to the streams.
It's the space version of watching paint dry.
It's the most fun version of watching paint dry. Well, hey, did you hear Tom Cruise is headed to space? What the heck?
I did. I mean, when is he ever going to stop? We know he wants to do his own stunts, but isn't that getting a little bit out there?
It literally out there. When I first saw the rumors circulating, because there's like a solid day where like there were rumors about Tom Cruise doing his own like thing in space. I was like, there's no way this is real. Like, no way on planet Earth. Ha ha ha.
Then Bridenstine and Elon chime in.
Exactly. And I was like, what?
Like, yes.
Okay, Jim. Okay, Elon. Let's do this now. So, like, do you think they're gonna like have a whole dedicated, Crew Dragon mission to it? Like, I mean, what does the Crew Dragon sit? 4 on a good day and 6 if they're packed? Or 7? I don't remember.
Yeah. Well, I think technically they can fit 7.
Okay.
3 up front, 4 in back, unless they've changed.
That's probably accurate.
But probably 4, because I'm going to assume Cam Op, Cruise, and then director, and honestly probably somebody to fly the thing.
What?
Because I don't think they can do that.
Tom Cruise is just going to be like, no, guys, I got this. I do my own stunts, remember?
Not enough time on the sim is going to help him.
Well, seeing how he's willing to get his ankle broken for lesser stunts, I would imagine he'd be... Out of all the actors in Hollywood, like, Tom Cruise is the one to go out in a big ball of fire if it comes to that. Like...
Yeah. And let's be honest, the cost of losing a rocket with him on it, or just him losing a rocket, is probably less money than they lost waiting for his ankle to get it fixed. I mean, if we're being serious here.
Oh my. So like, what do you think the storyline is going to be? Like, I can't like fathom this story. Like, okay, here's the thing though, right? They're going to be recording it in the ISS, which is like an active laboratory. I don't see them making it inactive for any amount of time because you got experiments that require, 24/7 maintenance. Things are in motion up there, and there's like no free space on the ISS. If you look at any of the, tours of the ISS that, I definitely haven't watched 3-hour-long no-cut tours of the ISS by astronauts in their free time. There's like...
What free time?
Exactly. I know. I don't have enough of it, which is the problem. But like, there's no like dedicated space for it. But like, I'm just trying to figure out what the storyline is going to be. Like, is this astronaut, or are we in the future? Or like...
There's actually rumors that the ISS is still not finished, so it's rumored that they might have another module up there by the time that he goes.
Oh,
because this is probably 2-3 years out at least.
Well, it depends on if we're talking about standard timeline or Elon timeline. In which case, if it's Elon timeline, I think we'll be there next week.
About the time that DM1 is, or DM2, sorry.
That is true, DM2.
But no, I've seen some ideas of it that they kind of click with me. They're going to schedule some of the science that they're doing around it to where they can try to fit in a little bit of like just wordplay over what they're doing to make it actually seem like it. But it's probably going to be like a, oh no, some bad guy went to space and is making something or about to mess up the ISS or something. I don't know. With Tom Cruise, there's no telling. Maybe the ISS will crash.
True. And I'm pretty sure there's going to at least be one scene with Tom Cruise hanging on to the outside of the ISS as it like has an unplanned deorbit burn or something. And he's just hanging on the outside.
Gravity all over again.
No, let's not repeat the sins of gravity ever. Yes, let's just do that, internet.
Oh, God. I watched a video of, like, it's the sin counter of that movie. It's just
with Neil
five
deGrasse
minutes
Tyson in the background.
Yes, I think that's the one I watched. It's like 5 minutes in, there was only like 20 of them. Like, definitely, yes.
I remember watching that movie in like 2012 or whatever, and knowing in my deepest subconscious that like this is not even close to reality. Like, okay,
Let's
just think
jump
they had
from
no
one
concept.
spaceship to another.
They had like no concept of orbital planes or anything like that. It's like, oh wow, we're fixing Hubble with the space shuttle, and oh, by the way, the ISS is just one little hop, skip, and a jump away. And oh, if you get the ISS, you need to get to the Chinese station, which is definitely not in an different orbital plane or altitude. You can just use a fire extinguisher to get there, and make sure to grab it and not get caught in the tethers.
Well, and the funny thing is, she can hold on to any door that just flies open, but she can't hold on to a rope.
This is true. I mean, I wouldn't put it past her, because if I was an astronaut, which is never going to happen because I don't have the guts to do that, I would be the one to lose grip on it and just float away, and that would be the end of me. Just be like, okay, guys, don't bother coming out and get me. I'll watch the view.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.
I'll see you later.
I couldn't grab the strap. Open the door carefully.
No, but I think it's going to be something along the lines of either something important that he needs to get us up there or something like that. Because I don't know what else much they could do besides, and maybe it's a 15-minute segment of the movie or 30-minute segment of the movie.
True. They could have a lot of
like
how much
can they do in the space station with this? I mean, it's big area-wise, but when you get in there, it's not that much. I mean, you're probably looking at a few school buses worth of total movable space.
Exactly, with all the supplies and stuff they have crammed in every corner of the station.
Yeah.
Part of me...
I mean...
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, like, between the people and all the stuff that they have out in it, there's no way they can have that much.
Do you think they'll send up a whole crew of, production crew with, a sound guy like you, or I think a cinematographer and a director and just crews, or will they send up like crews plus like 2 or 3 other actors and then just have them hold the camera, like whoever's not in the scene? Because I feel like it's a waste to send a whole crew up there.
I think what they're going to do is probably, because I mean, they've already done a film up there before.
Yeah.
It was like they took IMAX cameras up. But probably what it's going to end up being is whoever is shooting it is probably going to be somebody that's an astronaut of some sort.
There's going to be some on-station
because
up there too, huh?
Yeah, I mean, because you're going to have, I'm assuming they're going to have 6 already on station. Well,
I'd say 3 is probably safer bet.
Well, on station at the time, because they can hold up to 13 people on station for a short duration. But let's see, they normally send 2 up on the Russians. So I think there's around probably going to be 6 on station crew, and then however many they fly up with them, so 4 or 5 up with them. So I would assume the director would be going and crews will be going for sure, and then probably 1 grip, and then the pilot.
Can I be the grip?
Take me with you.
That would have to be the most connected grip in Hollywood to get that role.
You ain't kidding.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, the timeline of just having to train them to be able to even go up there is at least a year of solid training. And
just think of the budget though. Like I'm a finance guy, and so as soon as I heard Tom Cruise headed the station, I'm like, okay. So I got the launch cost, which is going to be like $200 million easy. We got training, ground costs. Those are kind of negligible, but you also have the station time, which is, I think NASA has a I don't know, $1 million a day.
$35,000.
$35,000.
$35,000.
Okay. So they're there for 2 weeks or whatever. So that's also negligible. But my thing though is the astronaut time, the on-station astronaut time, and the reduced productivity. Because what is it, $7.5 million a day it costs to keep a U.S. astronaut on the station, and so like they have their time.
Well, no, actually, the $35,000 a day is the astronaut time. I'm pretty sure.
Really?
I think that's what it costs each astronaut per day, like to keep them up there. Okay. Now the return on investment of what they're doing on there is probably around $7 million a day.
Okay.
But the actual time, the per astronaut time, is about 35,000. I think they said.
So even if we just call, and then Cruise is gonna need to get at least a couple $1 million for it and stuff. So you'd say the budget for this $500 million, right? Like I don't see this being any.
And
less
that's
than
even if NASA
million.
is really going to charge them that much, because they did the IMAX film up there. I don't think for anything, because it was they were just filming the Earth.
True.
But if I think I don't have the tweet up, but Bridenstine was saying something like, "We've got to get people interested in one of the most popular ways." Tom Cruise, he's a big name and all that. So love him, you hate him. He's still big.
I'm still rooting for Apollo 13 remake with what's his name, Tom Hanks and all the Kevin Bacon and all them. We need to do that again, because
I watched that movie a few weeks ago.
Really?
I love it.
What do you think about it? Kind of knowing what you know now, and I'm sure you saw it growing up or whatever, right? And
I mean, I've watched it probably 4 or 5 times in total, but it's looking at it. There's of course some liberties that they took with the movie, but for the most part, it's a fairly accurate representation. But I mean, it's good. It kind of captures a good bit of what they experienced, and then some of the liberties that they took to make it more exciting.
Yeah,
adds a little bit to it. But if you know about the actual story, it's still like a really good movie.
I was really impressed kind of after I've learned more about the Apollo era and stuff, like how many details they got right. You look at a lot of these other space movies, and they just don't even really try. And it's really.
What year was that made in? Was it like
95, probably somewhere around there, mid 90s?
Something like that.
I don't know.
Mid 90s, late 90s.
Yeah. So I mean, they didn't have good CG or whatever. I mean, they tried. Outside of Discovery and Aquarius,
it's the 90s. What can you expect?
It's like, okay, guys, you tried. Congratulations. It doesn't look terrible, but it doesn't look good. But they did a lot of practical stuff too. Like they took a lot of Vomit Comet rides, and they, that was half the budget of the film. If I remember correctly, like just like all these
most
Vomit
of
Comet rides.
I think all but maybe a few 0G shots where they're actually like floating and spinning. I think most all of them were shot in the Vomit Comet.
Yeah, I feel bad for the actors.
I feel bad for the Vomit Comet.
Oh. Well, hey, speaking of other films, have you seen, not films, TV show, I guess, have you seen For All Mankind on Apple TV Plus?
No.
Okay.
That
Don't
is
waste
just
your time.
one of them that...
Don't
Actually, no, wait. I was thinking of the one with Jason Momoa. Yes, I've watched all of For All Mankind.
Yeah, it's the space one. Yeah. What did you think of it?
Yeah, I've watched it all. Ooh. Honestly, I think Apollo 13 had better graphics. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Yikes!
This is probably true. There a lot of the 0G is just so hard to nail, and I think.
Well, it wasn't even just that. It was like the like ship textures and the just space in general. Like, it's Apple. How do you not have enough money to spend making good CG?
They only had one iMac Pro to share between all of them, and only one Pro Display XDR, but they didn't get the stand to save money. That was the production there. A big pet peeve I have of space cinema is when they don't inflate the actors' spacesuits, and you see
it just looks limp on them.
Yeah, it's just like, even if they're on the ground, they're under pressure. Like,
nothing's out there pushing in.
Exactly.
They puffing up like the Michelin Man.
Exactly. And that was the most unforgivable thing. And then there's that LEM scene in For All Mankind where, for some very strange reason, the dude who was staying on the moon went up in the LEM to say goodbye to the other crew members who were going back to Earth as they're going into the CSM.
Oh, yeah.
And then he went back down, and I'm just like, but the
How does that
LEM
work?
lost its descent stage, ascending, and then you're going to descend again, and then ascend again. What? I was very confused.
But was that after they was that before or after they did the like new station where it was more or less a base?
That was after they
that
did the
went
new
down.
station. So I did a little bit of research on it, and it looks like they're like, oh yeah, it's a new version of the LEM. It's LEM dash something is the name, and it has more power or whatever. I'm just like, guys, no. And
It still didn't have a descent
in
stage
the
on it.
freaking AGC, they were doing good in episodes like 1 and 2. The Apollo guidance computer, like they're running the right programs at the right time, so it
Yeah.
looks like fairly believable. But then like Apollo 15, which in their timeline would have happened at the same time as our Apollo 15, which within like 6 months or whatever. By the way,
Yeah.
the hardware for LM10, which is the LEM used on Apollo 15, was built back in before the time deviation or whatever happened.
Yeah.
But for some reason, they decided to stick a GUI screen inside of the LEM, and I'm just like,
I didn't even notice that
like
in the
she's
show.
typing,
I was
she's typing
I was
on like a
facepalming
little
at so many things else.
ABC keyboard, like not QWERTY, ABC keyboard with like little text and characters, and I'm just like, no, program 64, 66.
Not enough
Come on,
face
guys.
palms for this movie or this show.
I know, and
No, but tell you what though, there's one show that I've seen that has gotten everything that I could want right.
ooh,
Right.
pray tell.
The Expanse.
The Expanse. I have not seen that.
I can't remember what channel it was originally on, but it got picked up by Amazon. And they have another season coming out, but it's like 4 seasons out right now or 5 seasons out.
Yeah, it looks like the 5th season is
But,
just
like,
about to come out.
Yeah, they even get gravity completely right
Huh.
for the fact that when they accelerate, they're accelerating forward. Well, the way their spaceships are built, it's stacked, layered. So if you're standing on the rocket when it's on Earth, you're actually standing on the floors that you would normally have. So it's straight up and down of the
Okay.
rocket. And they continuously accelerate until the midway point, and then they continuously decelerate after
okay.
midway. So they're using gravity to stand, but it's because they're accelerating at 1G
Yep.
continuously and then decelerating at 1G. So they get that really well done. And then all the zero-G scenes, they're all practical. Adam Savage has a lot of videos on his channel about the work that they did and how they did it and the practical effects that they used. And I was watching one the other day. There was a scene where somebody got thrown out of one of the ships, and then they had to, somebody hooked a cable to him, jumped out and was just floating. And it showed how they matched all the spins, how they did all the lighting with the sun or a sun in the background, lighting faces, backlighting. It was like 4 or 5 different scenes that they actually put into one.
Oh, wow.
And it was really cool. But everything except for like the engines that they use now and some of the weapons that they use now is really accurate.
I'll have to add it to my things to watch in my abundant free time. Cool. Yeah, thanks. The Expanse. That sounds cool. Did you see Apollo 11, which was that kind of documentary with old footage?
Where it took all the old footage. No, I haven't seen that one yet. I've been wanting to. Every time I think about it, I'm like, oh, wait. I don't have the time.
It is worth the time, and I hadn't seen it until like a couple weeks ago, and I saw it on sale on iTunes from the quarantine content, and I was like, okay, I'll get it. And I downloaded it, and I waited for it to download, and whatever the iPad is, a little bit better than 1080 in full res, and I sat down and I watched it, and I could not believe like all of the ground stuff. Like it felt like I was in the 60s. It was so weird.
Yeah.
Like super crisp.
It's got that
super sharp.
nice filmic feel, but it's still like spot on.
Yeah. Oh, it looked like it was recorded yesterday on like a cinema camera. What
Yeah.
the heck?
I mean,
I don't know how they did that.
when you think about it, film is just amazing but it's such a pain.
Yeah.
Like that. I mean, that's why. Shoot, who directed Dark Knight and Dunkirk?
I'm not up to snuff on my directors.
Christopher Nolan.
Okay.
That's why he still uses film, is because just the way it looks and feels. But yeah, I'm gonna watch the documentary at some point during all this, because I'm starting to run out of things to watch.
YouTube was out today for like half an hour, and I was like, oh, sadness.
Oh,
what am I gonna do?
I'm glad I was at work, because that would have been awful.
Yeah, I was just getting off work. I was getting ready to go on my run, and I opened up YouTube, and it was like sadness. Oh, yeah. Well, enough with media and space videos and content. Let's talk about some actual space news. What has been happening in Boca Chica? Oh my goodness, they did a static fire and it snowed all in the same couple days. It was amazing. Were you keeping up on that?
Elon, just give it to us all. So yeah, they had what was it? 3 tests. 3 actual, like, where you could see the flare go up and all that, but only 2 of them were static fires. So we had a pre-burner test, I believe is what it was, and then
that was
2 days later, so a pre-burner test is, since it's a full flow stage combustion for the Raptor engine, they tested both of the pre-burners, which is what ignites it and all that, because it's basically just a big old spark plug is what they're using. But what they did was they filled up to pressure, whatever pressure they were using, and then lit it and just tested it and then stopped. They didn't continue on with the fire. Then the next night they had they actually did a fire. So it was 6 hours the first day of watching it, and then nothing happened when we thought something was going to happen. And then the next day it was probably about, I think it was somewhere around 12 o'clock, so a little after midnight or somewhere around there, that they actually had the static fire, and it lasted 2 or 3 seconds.
Did you catch it live?
Yeah, I caught it live. I caught both of them live.
Oh, wow.
No, the first night I fell asleep listening to Tim's video on it, and I'm like, oh, I'm glad nothing happened, because I woke up at like 4 in the morning and I scrolled back. I'm like, oh. I'm glad I did not stay up that whole time on that one. But then 2 days later, they did another one. So they filled it up to not full flight pressure, and then they did another 3 or 4 second static fire, same thing. But this one happened really fast compared to the other one. So it was really early. I think it was before 10 or something like that, Central. So that was only, I think, an hour and a half of watching the streams that people were doing. So, and we had a few different angles to catch the different live streams, because the first static fire, Tim Dodd wasn't doing his stream, and then the next day he was, but NASA space flights had went down, so we had a view from one side of the rocket for the first one, a view from another side of the rocket for the second one. So
then a view from Elon from underneath.
Yep, gotta see it snow. Let's see more snow.
Yes, they should collect that.
But then,
sell it.
yeah. But then they took off the Raptor back to look at it or something like that. I can't remember what number. I think that was Raptor number 18.
18 sounds right.
Yeah. They took it off to test it, and they did an engineless pressure test.
After?
And then after. Okay. They actually got it to flight pressure, and 2 days ago, I believe, they finally put a Raptor back on it. I don't think it was the same one. I think it was like 24 or 26 for this one. So
turning those out. Yeah, I made the mistake of trying to watch one of these tests live. I don't know, back in October, whenever Starhopper was going at it, and I spent all day, like 6 hours or something, watching this stream, and the little countdown clock like went down to 0, and nothing happened. And I was just like,
nothing.
So I watched again the next day, and I did get to watch the 40-second hop or whatever live. But then I was like, this was not worth 2 days of my life.
No. No.
But I can say I did it once
like-
and tell my grandkids, yeah, back in the day before the Starship was taking us all across the solar system, I watched its great-granddaddy, the Starhopper, take off on its first flight test. I don't know why I
You
sound
see,
like I'm Southern when
R2D2
I'm
just
old.
went across the sky.
That's a Starlink satellite. Speaking of, what do you think about the whole astronomy Starlink controversy?
I was listening to the first podcast the other night. So, I mean, people are up in arms at it for no reason, to be honest. It's ground-based telescopes and satellites. Most are, or most are not imaging satellites anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They're just radio satellites.
Yep.
And you don't see, like, science observatories getting all crazy about it because they really aren't affected by it anymore because they have gotten so much. They have perfected the algorithm that they use to get rid of atmospheric distortion these days, to where even if Starlink satellites did a little bit, they would correct for it. So, and the only ones that are really affected by the satellites are the actual observatories, but there's not that many left of those, so it's mainly just homegrown photographers and time lapsers that are getting mad at it.
And honestly, airplanes.
It's too much good to come from it.
Exactly, yeah. Fast internet for me sounds amazing. But like I did my fair share of time lapse night photography, and airplanes are far more annoying than any Starlink will ever be.
Mm-hmm.
You get one airplane in the frame,
you'll get,
and for 30 seconds of the time lapse, or like 3 minutes of real time, it's just this streak across your. It's like, gotta fix it in post.
Like, why?
Yeah.
It's especially in big cities. I mean, you're not even gonna be able to see Starlink.
You can't even
if
see
you try
stars
to.
in big cities.
All you see is blue lights coming up from the city itself.
Exactly. And sometimes
it's for me. I have possibly some of the worst internet around here where I am.
I think I beat you on that. Let's compare.
Okay, what's your speed? Let's go.
The basic speed before I paid exorbitant amounts of money to fix it a couple weeks ago. Basic speed was 6 down and 3 up.
Okay, your down is worse, but your up is much better than mine.
Okay. What are yours?
My original before I upgraded was 12 by 1.
Okay. So then I
download
upgraded to
decent.
business internet, and it's supposedly 20 up and 20 down, and they charge me way too much money for it, and it is what it is. 20 up, 20 down. I mean, it's not great, but it's way better.
I wish I had 20 up right now.
Right? The upload is really what I was concerned about. It's like, can I get like 10
20
up or 10 down and 30 up? They're like, no, you have to have it equal. Okay. Sorry.
I have I think it's quoted for 24 down and 2 up. Realistically, I'm getting like 20 and 1.5, which is much better than 0.6. So,
gosh.
But I mean, I still have that combo router access point thing that they always have, and it.
Yeah.
My room is like 4 walls and a completely different level in between this thing. And I'm like, oh no, stop.
Oh.
No, right here at my job, it's we got 100 by 100, and I'm like,
oh, nice.
Thank you. I don't have to upload YouTube videos on 1.5 up. I would be here for days.
One of my previous jobs, I would hang out late, and they had like proper corporate internet, and so during the day, I'd get 20 up, 20 down, just because there were thousands of people on the network in the building. But at night, anytime like after 6 or 7, I had the entire network to myself. It was amazing. The little Ookla thing was just like broken.
Gigabit for you.
Exactly. I'd hardwire in with an Ethernet or whatever, and it'd be like 1,800 down and 600 up, and I'm just like, I felt like Emperor Palpatine. Unlimited internet.
Yeah, no, but like Starlink, it would be a game changer for my house and anybody near me because we're stuck with basic AT&T stuff. we're like, I'm barely like a mile outside of their faster internet speeds.
That's frustrating.
And it's like, why did you do this to me?
I have the exact same problem, except AT&T doesn't service us. There's a freaking coax cable or phone line cable from AT&T running across our driveway, or like, you know, in front of our house. But AT&T refused to service us because they're rolling back their coverage of our area. So our city, that is like a couple miles south, they have fiber. Very small city, so we're still confused why they have fiber. But they have fiber, and all we get is the stupid microwave internet that is decent, but it's expensive. So Starlink, Elon, save me, please. Elon, take the wheel, and more than my Tesla.
I need it.
Give
me a Cybertruck with a Starlink satellite just sitting on it.
I'd never leave the car. I would put a twin-sized mattress in the back and just live in the car with Starlink, and I have an outlet in the back and everything. It would be perfect.
What you should do is like just mount a TV to the vault cover, and there you go.
Perfect. Then I just watch a 60-inch TV 2 inches from my face. It feels very IMAX-ish.
Let's go, Starlink. Get it here.
Totally, Elon. Yeah. Well, I think almost it's, if you're talking about the astronomy and the seeing it in person, like it's almost cooler. Like I've seen the ISS a couple times, like looked it up and waited for the right time, and just like there it went. That was the ISS.
You get like maybe a second and a half if you're lucky.
But like I haven't seen Starlink yet because I haven't taken the time. I'm sure I could have. There's another launch coming up soon, so maybe I should do that. But yeah, I've seen videos and stuff of the little train that lasts for a good 30 seconds. I'm like, that is so cool. And actually, Drew said he saw it, and I'm just like, that is cooler as like a space enthusiast than
it doesn't fly over like my latitude yet, but whenever they finally actually start launching my way, I'm definitely gonna try to see if I can see the train. But by the time it goes all the way around and back, it's probably gonna be a little bit dispersed. A little more than what they show.
Yeah, true. And it's all about the altitude of the Starlink, and when they're first thrown from the stage 2, they're in their low drag configuration, so they're just extra visible.
And they're like, I think they release it 250 miles.
Mm-hmm. That sounds right. It's extremely low Earth orbit. ELEO.
Release it 250. Push back up to 350.
Yeah, 5 something.
Something like that.
But yeah,
500 kilometers.
Elon,
around that.
Yeah, kilometers, miles. That didn't hurt the Mars Climate Observatory at all. I'm not sure.
Did you watch that video today too?
I saw that thing drop in my sub box, and I just ran straight for my phone. Tim posted.
Thank you.
Yay! Finally. Do more of these short videos, Tim. I love your 50-minute videos, but 18-minute videos work too.
I just don't want to wait a month and a half until there's another video.
Exactly. Well, Joe, you could still do the month and a half videos. Just give me content every week, Tim. This is what we're looking for. Oh, my.
Oh.
Let's see.
Nah, but, yeah.
Have you played the SpaceX Simulator that they have?
I did.
Did you dock?
I docked.
Yes!
I sat there.
Nice.
I sat there and played around with it before I got serious with it, but I actually noticed the Roadster before I even docked.
What?
I was just spinning around. Yeah, have you not seen it? There's a Roadster in the game.
No. Is it like behind you?
Yeah, it's behind you. You just kind of turn almost exactly around.
I thought if man, I almost did too. One of the times I was playing through it, I'm like, I should just, because I had the flat Earth thing, and I found that pretty quick, and that was funny. But I was like, I bet you there's some Easter egg around here. I should fly around. I'm like, no, I want to dock. So I'll have to play it again and look around for the Roadster.
Yeah, but no, I played it right and did the negative 0.2 or whatever, and then I sped run it and did it like a minute.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, I went slow and steady. Like, I did it like the real pros do. Take 20 minutes. That's fine. But when I went through it the first time, I got up inside the docking adapter, but I don't know, it was like a bug or I'd been playing it for too long or something. But like I got everything under point one, like velocity, rate, roll, pitch,
Dang.
all that under point one, and it wasn't saying I docked, and I was just sitting there like,
What?
so I tried backing out.
Were you directly on the crosshairs?
I was on the crosshairs and everything. It was like all nulled out, and so I was like, well. So I backed out a little, and then as soon as I backed out of the docking adapter, it was like, I don't remember what error it threw, but it was like you lost for some reason, and I was just like, so I did it again, and then I did it right, and I don't know what I did differently, but it worked. So success. I too can dock.
Yeah.
See, Mom, rocket science isn't that hard. I docked the Dragon capsule all by myself.
Bob and Doug, watch out. We're going to take your spots.
Uh-oh. Hey, I will gladly take a dunk in the neutral buoyancy lab just to get some practice for that. Yeah. So DM2 is coming up. That's
Yeah.
That's. How do you feel about that?
If all goes well, it's going to be just a barely late birthday present for me.
Ooh. Well, there you go.
Yeah. So.
Elon's lighting a candle just for you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Thanks, Elon. That's probably one of the most expensive candles ever. Aside from the Soviet N1.
Ooh! Oh! Burn. Not as expensive as a ULA launch, but still pretty up there. Those ULA launches are out of control. Like,
what are they, like 300 million a launch?
Well,
or something
if you look at per kilogram or per pound or whatever, it's like ridiculous. Like,
it's like 30,000 a kilogram,
like
or
$20,000
like
or $30,000 a pound, and I'm just like, good Lord. And then you got Elon over here like, yeah, once we get Starship operational, it'll be, $1 a pound. And I'm just sitting there like, I wonder where the future is.
Yeah, sure. Are we already making stuff in space at this point? Because that's cheap.
Exactly. It's probably, it actually might be cheaper to ship stuff via Starliner than an airplane at some point. And quicker.
Oh my gosh.
I could totally see FedEx and UPS operating a fleet of used old starships and just running them point to point. That's funny.
Talk about overnight shipping.
Overnight? No, in the hour shipping.
Oh my gosh, that would be. People are scared of drones delivering packages. I think they might be topped.
It's just 31 Raptor engines. That's all. Just all you need to do, go out in your backyard, spray paint one of the circles with the X in the middle. It'll land. It might destroy your house, but you'll get your package quickly.
You're fine. Just don't stand close. Or anywhere within like a couple miles.
So, like, we're launching from American soil. Like, in my first, I guess this is going to be the first American soil launch that I have actively been a part of. I know that the shuttle went up multiple times, 135 times from the U.S., but I was a little bit too young for the shuttle days. I remember them canceling the shuttle.
I remember talk about
in like 2011.
I remember talk about it being canceled.
Yeah, but I didn't watch it live.
But I don't remember watching it.
Pumped about it. So this is a monumentous event, and I really hope that everything goes well.
I mean,
if we get a hold, I'm going to be so sad.
I'm just gonna cry.
I know. I think the entire world will too.
We've waited too long for this. No, but I mean, just having the independence of launch back, that is probably the biggest thing. I mean, not even just launching on American soil again. It's just we have our own rockets going back up, not relying on Soyuz and paying $60 million a seat.
Yeah. It's like,
I mean,
wait, what do you
that's
charge
expensive.
your guy? You charge us $120 million for 2 seats. There are 3 seats on the rocket, and the launch costs $100 million.
Something seems wrong here.
Well, I'm sure we'll be doing that to anyone wanting a ride on. We'll do that to Tom Cruise.
Hey, that'll be. Yes, Tom Cruise is going to pay for a whole DM2, commercial space flight program. There you go.
Yeah, no,
one trip.
Do you think how optimistic are you about Starship? That's probably where I should start with this conversation point. Like, do you believe Elon?
I'm not.
Will be on
I'm
the
definitely
moon
not
in
on.
3
I'm not
years?
on Elon time.
Okay.
I'm not on Elon time with this. I mean, I think we'll be like maybe orbiting the moon with it in 3 years. But I don't.
Mancraft orbiting or
No. I'm saying probably 5 years until we put a man on the moon from Starship.
okay.
I'm optimistic because I'm not saying it's going to take like 8 to 10 years like most congressmen. Yeah.
Sorry, I had a large budget caught in my throat.
Oh no.
Poor SLS.
But yeah, I mean, I don't even think we're going to be going to the Exploration 1 mission in 2024 like they say.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if SLS keeps going the way it goes, it's speeding up slowly, but just right now, I just don't think it's gonna go up in 2024. I mean, they'll probably send. Well, man, it's gonna be tight. It's gonna be tight because SLS is basically finished at this point, and so is the capsule and everything else. Everything on the rocket's been
Orion
tested.
was finished in 2014 or 13 or
14?
something.
Yeah, 14. And I think they
sitting there.
tested the ESA module. I think even earlier than that.
Okay.
So, but that's I think the power and propulsion unit that they have,
But
or the command unit or something.
Starliner is definitely going to beat SpaceX. Totally 100%. Go Starliner. That poor thing.
Oh man, rip that thing. Oh,
I felt so bad for those engineers. They could not catch a break on that demo mission. Oh.
I mean, you get done, or you get towards the end, and then you realize, oh, if there were people on this and we didn't catch it, they would be dead.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
One thing after another.
This is why you test, folks.
It was gonna be close if between who was gonna be going first to the station until that happened.
Definitely. I
So,
remember that.
I mean, I'm Team Space and all, but I am still a SpaceX fanboy. So when I saw that happening, I was like, yes, very quietly.
Don't say it too loud. Tim will disown you and ask for his shirt back.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Tim, but I am a SpaceX fanboy. Team Space, but SpaceX fanboy.
Yes, Team Space with a little asterisk, and underneath that, in huge 99 sized font. SpaceX fanboy. Actually, Elon fanboy, which includes SpaceX.
That's a better term, yes.
So,
but
go ahead.
Oh yeah, but I probably think. Do we even know when Starliner is supposed to launch again? Do we even have a date for that?
I don't think so. They kind of shut stuff down until the issue seems so simple. They're just like, oh yeah, we didn't know what time it was.
Like timing error.
Yeah, it's like okay, and they found some other.
You're NASA and Boeing. You don't know what time it is.
To be fair, it's rocket science. Like.
Yeah, I mean, I can't do it, so
exactly. I barely know what time it is. We were trying to set up this this podcast meetup, and I couldn't make our launch time. I had to ask for a hold.
Just better not be one on DM2 day.
Oh, I know. That's kind of nervous. Do you think the pressure of? Do you think there's go fever right now? Like back with the space shuttle, I think that's kind of what we all defined as go fever. That time where NASA was willing to risk lives, literally
risk everything,
to hit their schedules. Do you think we're kind of in that now with this push for commercial space?
I mean, I don't think so, because we've seen the first time we saw the inside of the Crew Dragon capsule was I want to say 2017 when they did it at the headquarters, and it was like all silver and chrome on the inside, and it looked awful. So like that's the first time that we saw it. They've been working on it for years before that. I think like 2014 or 15 is when they first got the crew like contracts, or the research contracts going out. So that's 6 years at this point, and we only started testing flight capabilities of it last year. So, I mean, I don't think it's that rushed, especially being that we have a much higher tolerance, or we have a much higher level of risk assessment than we used to have in the shuttle era and Apollo era. So
that is true. We have a lot more data. Some would say
yeah.
we have the data. We freed the data, so our mind will now follow. I butchered that delivery.
Yes, you did. Ben would be upset.
He would be. Sorry, Mr. Sullis.
Oh, you even butchered his last name, too.
Sullis?
Sullins.
Sullins? Okay, well, I will edit this part out. Joke's on you. I don't edit these things. I do edit them, but I just don't cut things out because it's too hard.
Too much work.
Oh, yeah. Way too much work.
But no, I mean, it's between DM2 going up now, and then I would say Starline are probably within a year, probably. As long as Corona don't push everything back even further.
Who knows what's going on with
I'm just glad they're able to launch this.
True. Yeah, could you imagine if they'd cancel that? That would be. I mean, they already canceled the NASA social and the press invites and stuff, and it was just hurt my soul.
Luckily enough, they're still doing a few media at the actual event.
Yeah.
So we get some good live feeds from it. But yeah, I mean, they're going up there for 6 months, so maybe Corona's gonna be done by the time they get back. Rip.
You know, maybe I'll join them. I think they have 4 seats,
social distancing from the whole planet.
They won't notice a stowaway.
What's this? Ow! Stop!
Don't tell anyone. Just wait till we launch. Then we can announce to the world there was the first stowaway. Yeah. So back to the moon though, because how do you fall on this? Like, there's kind of 2 camps. There's the Elon camp that's like skip the moon, go straight to Mars, and there's the Jim camp that's stick to the moon for a couple decades, let's figure it out, and then let's go to Mars. How do you fall on that?
Okay, I'm kind of in between, because before we can have a base really on Mars, we're gonna have to have a much greater understanding of living in a ground-based platform for a long time without actually having atmosphere around it. So something that's close to where we can, in an emergency, send something and it'll be there in 3 or 4 days, is going to need years of trial. So I say maybe a decade on the moon once we get there, and then Mars, or at least the first Mars people going, and then probably a decade after that before there's a real colonization, or at least a base. So.
And do you think because in my mind, I'm a finance guy, so I always go back to the numbers. I'm like, so there's a lot of reasons to go to the moon. Like, all of the natural resources that we don't have on Earth are sitting up there just, 400,000 miles away. Like, just in our backyard.
Basically everything except for oil. So.
Well, yeah, you got palladium and gold and, like, all of the elements that we fight over down here on Earth just sitting up there. So there's a ton of reason to go to the moon. But Mars doesn't seem to have as much of the resource pull that I think people in my mind, that's the big industry, right? Space mining.
Yeah.
It's going to allow us to build things that are larger than what we could have built before, I guess, is like, space foundries.
I think the real moneymaker on that would be asteroid mining, because it's a whole lot easier to get asteroids when you're at Mars than if you're trying to get asteroids when you're at Earth.
That is true.
So, I mean, if you're already out there, that would probably be the business it has. And it could also double as oh crap, the world has completely gone down the toilet. and we need a place to live, and let's just hope there's enough infrastructure there already. But no, I think it's going to be scientific and like going off farther. So I don't think it's going to be.
You're taking more of a boots and flags approach as opposed to a mining approach.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be more boots and flags for probably 2 or 3 decades. I hate to say it, but it's probably not going to be colonized before Elon's gone.
I know. I just kind of realized. I just woke up one day and I'm like, dang, Elon's like either 50 or almost 50. Like he's like
he's I think he's 49.
49?
48
okay.
or 49.
Yeah, like he's
Something
not
like
young anymore. And
it's definitely caught up with him the past 2 years.
oh yeah, totally. Just all the pressure. I could not imagine having Elon's schedule. Like whew, that guy.
Just that job in general. You got
Which one
5
of them?
companies that you're yeah. 5 companies, 2 of them are stress level beyond the max. A couple of them are just fun or
Plus,
boring.
he is king of the internet, so that's also another job title.
Yes, he is.
Did you watch him
Although
on the
everybody
Joe Rogan
loves
podcast?
to hate him. I did. I watched the second one. Although I do like the first one more.
Yeah.
The only good there was too much Neuralink talk in the second one.
I don't mind it.
And you could tell that he wasn't really as interested in it compared to the very end when they started talking about Tesla. So
True. I did.
of course he's
notice
more
that
hands-on
shift.
with Tesla anyway. So because as much of a complete hands-on engineer as he is, he said he spends like less than 5% of his time dealing with Neuralink,
Yeah.
and like 50% of his time is spent at Tesla.
So Elon's pie chart of his day is 100% of his time is spent at Tesla, 100% of his time is spent at SpaceX, and the rest is spent in his other companies and endeavors.
Yes, Elon has 3 days in a day. He never sleeps.
Honestly, that's probably accurate just with Elon time. Like he just is living in like a different tangent of space-time, and his time is just more compressed than us.
What did you find out that we don't know about time, Elon? We want that.
He's the first traveler. He's a fifth dimensional being back from the future. That's why he's making the Cybertruck, because it's going to be like the DeLorean. I'm getting all my universes mixed up right now.
You had such great potential with that right there, and then it crashed.
I just have Star Wars on the mind. Got to get the Mando. And to be fair, the Mando is designed as about as close as you could get to the DeLorean, so it's extra confusing. Stainless steel angles.
Close enough.
Yeah.
We'll call it. But, yeah.
So, you mentioned asteroid mining, though. Do you think that we'll be bringing asteroids into, like, Leo or Geo and mining them from there? Or do you think we'll be mining them in the asteroid belt or around Mars and then bringing back the refined materials?
Probably bringing back refined, or at least more condensed versions of the broken apart. I mean, when you think about it, unless we come up with a new engine or rocket engine of some sort where it doesn't run on regular fuels and it's like an ion thruster, but it is infinite or is a nuclear reactor thruster or something like that, you have to think about so much delta V that you need. So if you're going out there, it's a whole lot harder to come back in than it is to go out.
Oh, the tyranny of the rocket equation.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think they're going to break it up and bring it back somehow. But honestly, before we even have like asteroid mining, I think it's going to be like Trek-looking spaceships where just massive, like full-on aircraft carrier size things before we actually have true mining ships.
A lot of it comes down, you're right, to the delta V, but also the scale of the operation. Because if you're going to mine 10 pounds of platinum from an asteroid and bring those back to Earth, well, congratulations, you've just made the world's most expensive platinum. that will still only sell for a certain price. But
You thought a rocket launch was expensive. Talk about this platinum.
it's Elon's record. Don't doubt your vibe. It went platinum.
Oh, he would do that just to print
it. he would take his "Don't Doubt Your Vibe" song, make it into a record from the very first platinum mined from an asteroid. That would be Elon Musk's crowning achievement.
Yep.
Anyway.
No, but yeah, you would have to have massive ships to be able to do stuff like this and keep it in the realm of possibility just to make money.
Yeah,
and then you can't get one asteroid. You need hundreds of asteroids like that.
And then once you bring those materials home, like, it decreases the prices exponentially. If you think back to how colonization worked with Europe and the New World in the 1500s, 1600, I guess was the more colonization time. But the spices and herbs that were astronomically expensive, only available for the wealthiest people, suddenly dropped in price to the point where everyone was using herbs that were considered only for royalty. I think that's going to really happen with minerals if spice mining ever gets scaled, because you're going to bring back, however much precious metal, and guess what? Now all the precious metal is now worth less because there's more of it and it's less exclusive and rare, which then reduces the incentive to go out and mine, which is kind of this whole conundrum I can't really figure out. Like, I get moon mining because it's so cheap to get it there and back relatively, but larger scale asteroid mining, we'd have to have a need for the materials that are bigger than, by like factors of hundreds more than what we need today.
Well, see, I don't think it's actually going to be bringing it back to Earth.
Okay.
I think it's going to be in situ resource utilization.
Ooh,
so
you win points for big word of the day. Congratulations.
Yes, I do. But no, it's whenever, if you're going to try to bring something back to the Earth, what are you going to do? Shove all the rocks in escape pods and then let them go and fall back into the atmosphere? Or are you just going to dump them out and say, all right, let's get this big area right here and let it all melt down and we'll catch it here and then mine this back up again? So, I mean, I think it's going to be like, if we get the metals and stuff, they might be in orbit, but they're going to be broken down and used in orbit. They're not going to be brought back to Earth.
Okay.
If they're used, they're going to be used in orbit.
That makes a lot of sense. And when I was saying bring them to Earth, I was using LEO and Earth surface kind of interchangeably, because the assumption is if we're doing moon mining or asteroid mining, we can get to LEO as cheaply as Elon is hoping. Yeah, so I'm thinking like the reasons why I would want to do that would be like Oort cloud levels of, spaceship scale. Like,
yeah,
I don't see much of a need beyond that. Like, I don't know. So I'm all on board for moon mining, but the asteroid mining, I'm kind of like, we're a century away from that, like, actually being a thing.
It's going to be at least between 50 years and a century before actually doing that.
Kind of sad though.
But
if only I was born a few years from now, then I could enjoy all of this and skip the coronavirus.
Yeah, but then you'd have to hear it from your granddad about, I lived through Corona.
Yes, Grandpa, we know. Tell us about how you had to hoard toilet paper. Please tell us again.
This is going to be our generation's back in Nam.
Yep. Back in our day, we had to use toilet paper and hand sanitizer and wear these things called masks. Not the spacesuits that you're wearing now, Sonny. It's the mask.
These things just blocked air from our noses, and they sucked.
We had these things called germs. You've eradicated them these days, but we used to have these things called germs, and some of them killed people.
You see, but you know what's even worse? It came on the year that Taco Tuesday fell on Cinco de Mayo, and it was named after a Mexican beer. Of all the times it could, Rona strikes.
Ouch. Ouch. Yeah. Well, all this talk is assuming we survive the next 3 weeks, so there's that.
Yeah. Elon, please get out if it gets worse. Fly. Go to the moon.
If we have to preserve one person on planet Earth, it's Elon Musk. He has the best chance of saving humanity. Elon Musk, Chuck Norris.
At this point, it almost seems like he's the only chance.
Pretty much. Between his sustainability and his off-world efforts, help me, Elon Musk. You're our only hope. I'm trying to fit way too many Star Wars references into this. Do you have any closing thoughts?
There's a lot going on, but it's just a hurry up and wait right now. Let's see what goes on. Let's see what happens.
This is
DM2, you better go up. If not, we all gonna cry.
We might have a minor internet riot, like the march on Area 51.
Oh gosh. Everybody's just gonna Naruto run up to the rocket and press the launch button themselves.
There you go. Yeah, because there's totally just one launch button, like in the cartoon. just one button. That's all that has to happen.
Enter. Oh, man.
All right.
But no, yeah, DM2 coming up and some more static fires and hopefully a hop for Starship sometime soon. So
Starship hop, I'm looking forward to that probably as much as I am DM2. Like Starship hop and DM2 are, well, Starship.
I mean, we've seen a Falcon 9 go up a lot. We've seen Crew Dragon go up once and then abort once. I'm ready to see even larger tin can go up.
Oh yeah. And one little note here, like, it's hard to grasp the scale of these things.
Yeah.
When you see them going up and coming down, like, I don't know, they look like, 2 or 3 stories tall. No, these things are like 27 stories tall. Falcon 9 booster landing is huge.
It's ridiculous.
9 meters?
And then
is huge. 27
well,
feet.
Okay, no, Falcon 9 is 3 meters.
No, I'm
wide.
sorry. I skipped a Starship. But yeah.
Okay, I was about to say that. Well, notice if Falcon 9 was 9 meters wide, then what is Starship?
34 meters wide.
It's big. It's big.
Yeah.
But no,
the scale easily.
The pictures on it are ridiculous. I mean, even the person that they painted on Star Hopper was ridiculously tiny compared.
Totally. It's like a water tower. It's like, that's huge. And it's flying. So, wow.
Big boom.
Big boom. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me, DJ. This has been a real fun conversation.
It was fun.
Next time you launch something, make sure the pointy end is up and the flamey end is down. I'll see you in the stars.